There are five major hubs within the USA: New York, LA, MIA, Chicago, and Atlanta. Everybody pits the East Coast against the West Coast, but they always sleep on the dirty South. Lest we forget, the South got something to say. Indeed, the South has continued to say what it wants and make major waves within the industry. Reason being, they are unforgivably pure and absolutely authentic. Southern rap has always been cloaked in twang, drawl, and puts forth an entirely different lexicon. Just as every region in America has its own dialect, the South has one of the thickest, most definitive lexicons known to man. As is true for almost everything, advancement is inevitable. Obviously, nobody will be able to compare to the likes of Outkast. They are in a class of their own. They also have quite a way with words. Many would argue that drifting from the path laid down by Outkast and their lyrical prowess might be harmful to Southern rap. Then again, it is not fair to consider what Gucci Mane has done as a drift in any sense. Head and shoulders above prominent South counterparts of his era, Gucci Mane is responsible for ushering in an entirely new wave of Southern rap called trap. Now, what is trap? Now, who is responsible for these fast-paced rhythms sweeping through the South? Well, if Soulja Boy was the first to popularize dance challenges in music, then there's no doubt Gucci Mane is the indoctrinator of trap. Trap in and of itself is a genre that represents the struggle of the streets. For people that are enthralled within the street life and all that comes with it, they may see it as a trap at some points. Meaning it is extremely difficult to escape the vicious cycle of violence, bribery, and criminal behavior that comes with the surroundings of the trap. Rather than box themselves in and continue to feed that brutal cycle, some artists have taken autonomy over the word trap and flipped it into their own version. In essence, they have captured and internalized the elements of the trap for their own benefit. From there, artists topsy-turvy the word so that they can place their own spin on it. Additionally, artists tend to trap what they wish to accomplish, much like it were hunting game. Don't be mistaken though. While the trap has its place to build soldiers, it is not somewhere anywhere ought to stay for any extended period of time. Many artists compartmentalize the trials and tribulations experienced during these rough and tumble times in order to overcome. Throughout the course of his lifetime, Gucci Roderick Davis Mane has dealt with his fair share of incarceration and dependency issues. He had to learn to surround himself with people that have the best interest in mind. When you are rising from the rubble of the trap, aka the bando, it takes time to truly realize how to thrive. The most magnetic component about Gucci's persona is the way that he moves. Some people move greasy, but not Gucci. He is a smooth mover. It is evident that this man is an orchestrator in every sense of the word. He realizes that hip-hop music is much bigger than one man, even if that man is the biggest trapper in all of history. It is safe to say that one of Gucci Mane's key redeeming qualities is transparency. He offers guidance, value, does not take no for an answer, and never turns down raw opportunity. As far as who influenced and groomed the best talent from the South, the answer is clear-cut. The So Icy Man himself is that guy. It was not always smooth sledding and commas for the Gucci Man, though. It took time for him to establish himself within the music industry, and it also took time for him to escape the perils of the street life. What truly distinguishes Gucci Mane from any other artist is his organic approach. He came in the game with his own style, his own vocabulary, and superior confidence. Arriving on the scene without expectations, all Gucci Mane had to his name was some dripped out swagger and an ability to set the booth ablaze. Over time, he continued to improve his mechanisms, his breath control, lyrical punch, and delivery methods. Then, he began to collaborate with artists, and most of the time, that was through acquisition. Gucci Mane is The type of person that would take a risk on almost anyone if he received that mutually beneficial gut feeling. Gucci is one of the most noble men in the hip hop industry because he has a terrific ear for talent and a huge heart. Coming from the streets and seeing how the belly of the beast can chew one up and spit them out, Gucci was willing to take risks on young trap rappers. Trap no more, youngster. Gucci Mane has a spot on the roster for you. Gucci's endeavors within the rap game catalyzed an entirely new wave of Southern stardom, and it was so refreshing to see. Then again, it was not always pigeons and rainbows for this man. He suffered many bouts of depression, isolation, and weighed nearly 300 pounds at one point. How might this be possible for such a strong-willed individual? Simple. He gave in to temptation that arose as a result of access. Fame provides access like none other for magnetic individuals, and at times it can be difficult to maintain composure. Considering the fact that Gucci was an extremely likable figure, it did not take much convincing for others to provide him with drugs, guns, clothes, jewelry, the trap essentials. Also, for as many hands as Gucci had in the recruitment of unheralded stars, he had many arms pulling him in different directions. Not everyone wants to see you win, and when you are someone that exists with as much magnitude as Gucci Mane, this is definitely true. Suffice to say, 100% of the negative onus is on Gucci, as he has free will and he makes decisions of his own. It is just incredible to see how the sum of your parts can either make one whole or can tear them apart. So how did Gucci Mane return from the penitentiary to retain his title as the king of trap? Through transformation. It is well documented that he finally had enough jail time and decided to make a change. When he went away for the last time, he handed his wife Keyshia Ka'ior 2 M's. In return, she flipped those 2 M's into 8 M's. How did she do that? Well, via lucrative businesses. When he was released, Gucci came home to a dream home, a healthy lifestyle, and a killer game plan. Together, the two are one of the strongest power couples in this industry and continue to amass their wealth to this day. What makes Gucci the true leader of trap is his generosity. Gucci is for the kids. It is clear that when he sees potential, he will strike a match. There is no bigger proponent of giving away game for free than Gucci Mane. Have you heard the story of how Young Thug literally paid Lil Baby for days on end just to keep his rear end in the studio and off of the streets? Well, it is safe to say that Thug has adopted that nurturer role because that is exactly how Gucci Mane led, by example. As a matter of fact, Gucci signed Young Thug before even hearing any of his music. He took a risk based solely upon a strong moral compass and an instinctual sense of character. It is safe to say that he has seen a return on his investment tenfold. The thing about Gucci Mane is that he is downright hilarious. His infectious personality and accountability are key characteristics that make him the king of trap. Gucci is no stranger to stepping outside of his comfort zone. There were years throughout his life where he just enjoyed being high so much that he couldn't picture any situation where that wasn't what his entire day consisted of. So how did he go from a big belly rude boy to an absolute unit? Daily determination. After his last bout with the legal system, Gucci finally kicked the cup, shredded up his physique, and started to utilize his wisdom. For a minute, people claimed that there was a Gucci clone just because of the way he came home destined for greatness. Mr. Go Hard on a Beat went even harder on himself. He clearly made no bones about it and was fed up with living a sedentary lifestyle. Through infinity pools and elliptical wheels, Gucci emerged from the depths of the underbelly into the sharpest limelight. There are only so many ways you can go about living until it is time to get active. Without a doubt, Gucci placed himself in that position to do so and has ensured his longevity by going the clean route. We celebrate the success of Gucci Mane every time we exclaim, "Yeah!" Except it doesn't have that Gucci Mane twang until you throw the U in there. Yeah! Brr! We could go on for days with these. Matter of fact, we could build a house with all these bricks. Regardless, Gucci Mane cannot be mistaken for anything other than the godfather of trap. His downright tenacity, endurance, and ability to scout out young talent is unrivaled. We appreciate the way that he has battled adversity and serves as a model citizen. Your past does not define you, and that cannot be any more clear than it is for Gucci Mane. There is a definite distinction between following footsteps and studying your idols. The reason why Gucci was such a groundbreaking figure in Southern rap is because he came out with the most refreshing, never before seen or heard persona. Sure, he incorporated elements of Outkast, UGK, and other Southern artists along the way, as almost every artist does. The thing is, though, he took his time to sift through the pieces of his influences and life experiences in order to build an entirely new trap machine. Gucci Mane is a testament to pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. He was thrown every curveball imaginable given the fact that he is African American in one of the most sought after roles on this universe. Not to mention, he inhabits one of the most dangerous roles on this planet, a hip-hop star. Hip-hop artists are not granted the same protection as their counterparts within similar tax brackets. Therefore, they need to solidify themselves mightily. That is exactly what Gucci Mane did while he was locked up. As he defied the odds and rehabilitated himself within the prison system, Gucci has finally shattered any barriers that he had previously placed upon himself. All thanks to the good Lord, a good woman, and an unbreakable mindset, Gucci Mane overcame. All hail Gucci, the king of trap.